Welcome back to Stoicism Breath. Rule number 5 is the art of strategic non-action, and I know it sounds contradictory, but sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is absolutely nothing. Not nothing forever, not nothing because you are avoiding life, but nothing on purpose, nothing with wisdom. The Stoics understood something our action-obsessed culture has forgotten. There is a real difference between being busy and being effective, between motion and progress, between forced action and aligned action. Let me make this practical. Have you ever had a day where you did 100 things, answered emails, made calls, ran errands, kept moving, and at the end you felt exhausted, but not really closer to what you want? That is motion without progress. And a lot of times it is just anxiety wearing a productivity costume. There is an old idea from Lao Tzu that deeply influenced Stoic thinking. The sage does not attempt anything very big and thus achieves greatness. In other words, the wise person does not try to force life. They do the right thing at the right time, and then they let the rest unfold. Sometimes your biggest breakthrough comes not from doing more, but from having the wisdom to do less. Because we live in a culture that equates action with progress. If you are not doing something, you feel guilty. If you are not moving, you feel like you are falling behind. But much of what we call taking action is actually anxiety in disguise. We stay busy because stillness makes us uncomfortable. We keep pushing because we are afraid that if we stop, everything will fall apart. And here is the problem, that frantic energy often pushes away the very things you are trying to attract. Think about your body for a second. When you are rushing, your breathing is shallow, your shoulders are tight, your mind is scattered, your nervous system is in a stressed state. And in that state, you make rushed choices, you miss details, you misread signals, you say yes to the wrong things and no to the right ones. Strategic non-action does not mean being lazy or giving up on your dreams. It means having the confidence to step back when you have done your part and trust the process to unfold. It means knowing when to plant seeds and when to let them germinate in darkness. Because some things simply cannot be rushed no matter how badly you want them. A relationship cannot be forced, healing cannot be hurried, trust cannot be demanded, growth has its own timeline. Think about a master chess player. They do not move just to be moving pieces. They wait for the right opportunity, even if it looks like they are doing nothing while their opponent makes hasty moves. Their patience becomes their power, and their restraint becomes their strategy. And when you learn this art, you stop exhausting yourself with busy work that does not actually move you forward. You begin to trust your intuition about when to act and when to wait. You discover that sometimes life needs space to work its magic, and your job is simply to get out of the way. So here is your practice this week, simple but not easy. Say I do not know when you do not know. Say I will wait when waiting feels right. And notice what happens. You will feel uncomfortable at first because your mind is addicted to control, but then you will start to see something else, space. And in that space, solutions appear, opportunities show up, conversations happen at the right time. You realize your forced action was actually blocking what you were trying to receive. The universe rewards those who can be still enough to receive what it is trying to give them. Now, rule number 6 is gratitude as a manifesting force. And this is where the Stoics go even deeper, because most people think gratitude is just being polite or being positive. But real gratitude changes your biology and your focus. It changes what your brain notices. It changes what your nervous system expects. It shifts you from scarcity into abundance. When you truly appreciate what you already have, you create a magnetic field that draws more abundance into your life. Marcus Aurelius wrote that when you wake up, you should remind yourself that the people you deal with may be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. And then he adds something powerful: they act this way because they cannot tell good from evil. But I have seen the beauty of good and the ugliness of evil, and I recognize the wrongdoer has a nature related to my own. Even while acknowledging human flaws, he found reasons for gratitude and understanding. And here is what happens when you practice real gratitude: you stop obsessing over what is missing, and you begin acknowledging what is present. You stop broadcasting lack, and you start building fullness. And when your mind starts from fullness, your choices change, your posture changes, your tone changes. You start showing up as someone who already has enough to breathe deeply and move wisely. Welcome back to Stoicism Breath. Here is the real shift: with gratitude, instead of sending out lack energy, you begin radiating fullness energy. But let me be clear, this is not fake positivity. This is not pretending everything is perfect while your life is falling apart. True Stoic gratitude is grounded. It acknowledges reality exactly as it is, and then it chooses to focus on what is working instead of what is broken. That is a big difference. Because anyone can be grateful when life is easy. The real power is learning to find genuine appreciation even inside the hard parts. Appreciation for your challenges because they are making you stronger. Appreciation for your struggles because they are teaching you wisdom you cannot learn in comfort. Appreciation for your setbacks because they may be redirecting you towards something better than what you originally asked for. And there is something practical happening here in your brain. When you practice gratitude, you train your attention. You start noticing resources instead of only problems. You start noticing support instead of only stress. And what you notice is what you build your life around. So when you wake up grateful, you start your day in a higher state, not just emotionally, but physically. Your body is calmer, your breathing is deeper, your thinking is clearer, and that state tends to attract more experiences that match it. And when you go to bed grateful, you program your subconscious mind to look for more things to appreciate the next day. You wake up already searching for good. That creates an upward spiral where gratitude leads to more experiences worth being grateful for. But the magic is not only in feeling grateful, the magic is in expressing it. Tell people what they mean to you. Do not wait for a funeral to say the words. Write a simple thank you text after a small kindness. Notice the beauty in ordinary moments: a warm cup of coffee, a quiet morning, a stranger holding a door, a friend checking in. Appreciate your body for carrying you through life even when it is tired. Appreciate your breath for sustaining you without asking permission. Appreciate your heart for continuing to beat through every good day and every bad day. Because gratitude turns what you have into enough, and enough is always the foundation for more. When life sees you appreciating what you have already been given, you become someone who can be trusted with greater gifts. Now we move into rule number 7, the strength of emotional sovereignty, and this one can change everything. Your emotions are not simply happening to you, they are being created by you. That single realization contains enough power to transform your entire life, yet most people spend years giving their emotional state away to circumstances, other people, and random events beyond their control. Seneca taught that the mind gets excited by every new thing, but a mind that seeks truth turns toward what is eternal. The point is simple: your emotional reactions are choices, not inevitable responses. And when you truly understand that, you reclaim the throne of your own experience. Think about two people going through the same rejection, the same financial setback, the same disappointment. One person collapses and stays stuck for months. They replay it, they blame themselves, they lose their momentum. The other person feels the emotion fully without denying it, then they learn from it, then they use it as fuel to create something better. The difference is not their circumstances, the difference is their emotional sovereignty. And emotional sovereignty does not mean suppressing feelings, it does not mean pretending negative emotions do not exist. It means you feel your emotions fully without letting them drive the car of your life. You acknowledge anger without becoming destructive. You allow sadness without drowning in it. You feel fear without letting it paralyze you. Because your emotions are literally your creative energy. When you are in control of your emotional state, you are in control of what you are creating. When you can choose peace in the middle of chaos, you become a powerful attractor of peaceful circumstances. When you can find joy regardless of your current situation, you magnetize joyful experiences. Now the practice is simple but not easy. The next time you feel a strong emotion, pause and ask yourself, what is this emotion trying to tell me? What can I learn from this? How can I use this energy constructively? And then make a conscious choice about how long you will stay in that emotional state and what you will do with the energy it brings. Welcome back to Stoicism Breath. So here is the key point to emotional sovereignty. Your emotions are meant to be messengers, not masters. They are designed to give you information and energy, not to control your decisions or determine your destiny. Think of an emotion like a dashboard light in your car. When the light turns on, it is not there to punish you, it is there to inform you, it is telling you something needs attention. Anger might be telling you a boundary has been crossed. Sadness might be telling you something mattered deeply to you. Fear might be telling you you are stepping into the unknown, and you need to prepare. But if you let the dashboard light drive the car, you crash. So the goal is not to shut off your emotions, the goal is to listen to them, take the message, and then choose your next move. Because when you master your emotional world, you master your manifesting power. If you are stepping into that emotional power, say this with confidence in the comments: my emotions exist, but they do not control me. Now rule number 8 is the philosophy of enough, and this one is revolutionary in a world that constantly tells you you need more to be happy. More money, more recognition, more validation, more stuff, more followers, more achievements. The Stoics discovered a different secret. The feeling of enough is not about how much you have, it is about how you relate to what you have. When you master the philosophy of enough, you unlock a level of contentment and strength that no external acquisition can provide. Seneca, one of the wealthiest men in Rome, wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more who is poor." And that matters because Seneca was not speaking from a place of ignorance. He understood success, he had status, wealth, influence, and yet he still found his deepest fulfillment in something entirely different. So the philosophy of enough does not mean settling for less, it does not mean giving up on your dreams. It means recognizing that your happiness and your sense of abundance are not dependent on getting more stuff, more recognition, or more approval. It means realizing that the feeling you think you will get when you reach your goal is actually available to you right now, in this moment, with what you already have. Here is the paradox that changes everything. When you genuinely feel like you have enough, you stop operating from desperation, and you start operating from abundance. And abundance energy attracts abundant experiences. When you are not grasping for more, more comes to you naturally. You can see this in real life. Think about the most attractive people you know, not physically attractive, but energetically attractive. They are not constantly complaining about what they lack. They are not obsessing over what they want. They seem genuinely content with their lives while still being excited about growth and new experiences. That is not complacency, that is confidence. It is the deep knowing that you are already whole, already valuable, already enough regardless of what you achieve or acquire. And from that foundation, you can pursue your dreams from love rather than fear, from excitement rather than desperation. So here is your practice tonight before you go to sleep. Mentally inventory everything you have to be grateful for. Your health, even if it is imperfect. Your relationships, even if they are still growing. Your opportunities, your experiences, the lessons you have survived. And do not just list them, feel them. Feel how rich your life already is. Because that is the energy that creates miracles. If you are done chasing and ready to receive, flood the comments with this truth: I am enough, and I attract from that place. Now, rule number 9 is the courage of authentic expression, and this is where many people get stuck. One of the biggest blocks to manifestation is living a life that is not authentically yours. When you are constantly trying to be who others expect you to be. When you are hiding your true thoughts and feelings. When you are playing roles that do not fit your soul. Welcome back to Stoicism Breath. Rule number 9 is the courage of authentic expression, and this is where your power gets real, because when you are not living as yourself, you create internal resistance that blocks the flow of your desires into reality. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself how much trouble he avoids when he does not look to see what his neighbor says, or does, in other words, stop monitoring, stop comparing, stop performing for an audience that will never be satisfied. Because the courage to be authentically yourself regardless of other people's opinions is not only personal freedom, it is manifestation power. Here is why: when you are not being authentic, you are essentially lying to life about who you are and what you want. And if you are hiding behind a mask, how can the right opportunities find you? If you are constantly shaping your choices around what will look acceptable, how can you end up with a life that actually fits? This is not theory. This shows up in real health, in real stress levels, in real energy. When you are living out of alignment, your body feels it. You hold tension in your jaw, you carry weight in your shoulders, your breathing becomes shallow, because your nervous system is always on alert trying to keep the mask in place. But when you are honest, your body relaxes, you breathe deeper, you sleep better, you stop wasting energy trying to be two different people: the one you are and the one you think you need to be. Now, authentic expression does not mean being rude. It does not mean being harsh or inconsiderate. It means having the courage to speak your truth with kindness. It means pursuing what genuinely excites you instead of what you think should excite you. It means making decisions based on your values instead of other people's expectations. And the beautiful thing about authenticity is that it does two things at the same time. It naturally attracts what is meant for you, and it repels what is not. When you stop trying to please everyone, you start attracting people who genuinely appreciate the real you. When you stop chasing goals that are not truly yours, you start manifesting experiences that actually fulfill you. And yes, this takes courage, because authentic living means some people will not understand you, some opportunities will not be for you, some paths you thought you wanted will not match who you are becoming. But that is not loss, that is liberation. Your authentic self is your most powerful self, because it is the only self that can create a life that truly satisfies your soul. Everything you are meant to have is attracted to the real you, not the version of you that is trying to fit in. So start today and make it simple. In one conversation, tell the truth about how you really feel. In one decision, choose what you actually want instead of what you think you should want. And notice how your energy shifts. Notice how new possibilities open when you stop shrinking yourself to be accepted. Now we arrive at rule number 10, trust in divine timing, the final, and perhaps most profound Stoic principle of all. Divine timing means everything unfolds exactly when it is meant to, not when you think it should. And this is not passive waiting, this is active faith in the intelligence of life. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together." The Stoics believe the universe is rational and purposeful, and that things happen for a reason even when that reason is not immediately clear to our limited perspective. Here is the truth: your impatience is often your biggest enemy. When you demand that things happen on your timeline, you create resistance against the natural flow of events. You miss opportunities because you are so focused on forcing one particular outcome. You reject good things because they do not look exactly like what you ordered. But when you trust divine timing, you relax into a rhythm that is larger and wiser than your personal agenda. You understand that delays are not denials. Welcome back to Stoicism Breath. So when life slows you down, when the answer does not come fast, when the door does not open on your schedule, remember this: delays are often protection or preparation. Sometimes you need to grow into the person who can handle what you are asking for. You want the promotion, but you still need the confidence to lead. You want the relationship, but you still need the emotional stability to keep it healthy. You want the breakthrough, but you still need the discipline to sustain it once it arrives. And sometimes it is not even about you. Sometimes the world needs to shift first. People need to move. Circumstances need to change. The right pieces need to line up. That is what divine timing really means. It is not punishment, it is coordination. Think about the best things that have happened in your life. How many of them arrived exactly when you expected them? Probably very few. Most of your greatest blessings likely came as surprises through unexpected paths, at times when you were not even looking for them. And that memory matters because it proves something: your timeline is not the whole story. Now, trusting divine timing does not mean you stop taking action. It does not mean you stop setting goals. It means you hold your goals lightly while trusting that life has a bigger plan than what you can see from where you stand right now. It means you do your part with dedication, and then you surrender the outcome with grace. That is a powerful combination. Because when you trust divine timing, you stop exhausting yourself trying to control everything. You stop living with tight shoulders and a clenched jaw. You stop missing the beauty of the present moment because you are so anxious about the future. And you start noticing the magic that is happening right now instead of waiting for the magic you think should happen tomorrow. Here is a simple way to check yourself. Ask: am I building my future, or am I choking it with control? Am I showing up with steady effort, or am I forcing outcomes because I am afraid? When you align with trust, your breathing softens, your mind clears, your body settles. That is not spiritual fluff, that is health. That is your nervous system shifting out of fight or flight and into a state where clarity and connection are possible. And the truth the Stoics would remind you of is this: life is always working in your favor even when it does not feel that way. Your job is to align with that truth and let it carry you toward your highest good. The ancient Stoics did not have vision boards or manifestation journals, but they understood something modern self-help often misses. True manifestation is not about getting what you want, it is about becoming who you need to be to receive what is meant for you. And when you relax into these 10 principles: detached desire, present moment awareness, accepted resistance, inner authority, strategic non-action, gratitude, emotional sovereignty, the philosophy of enough, authentic expression, and divine timing, you stop fighting against life, and you start flowing with it. This is not about giving up your dreams or lowering your standards. This is about raising your consciousness to a level where miracles feel natural, where synchronicities become common, and where what you need finds you instead of you chasing what you want. The Stoics knew that peace is not the absence of challenges, peace is the presence of wisdom. And wisdom applied consistently creates the conditions for everything good to flow into your life. So if you needed a reminder today, here it is: your manifestations are already on their way. Your job is simply to relax, trust, and become ready to receive them. If this message helped you, hit like and share it with someone who needs peace right now. And to seal it in your mind and body, comment: I relax, I trust, and I receive. Subscribe to Stoicism Breath for more life-changing wisdom. Until next time, stay stoic, stay strong, and stay open to miracles.